Okay, so the first card you have your past is Judgment. So yeah, this is about huge changes in your life, big things. It can be about forgiveness, but it's like this huge change. This trumpet sounds and everyone stands to attention, and it's time for a change. So yeah, I think this is what's happening. I think you're going through some big changes in your life. I think you could probably feel this at that time. You're probably still feeling this. You're probably still going through this. It's like rising up. You're rising up out of your old mindset. Now, I think you might have already started on this process a while ago, but I think you might have had a few ups and downs since then, emotional ups and downs. You might have got a bit off track. You might have gone back to, your old ways, other things, but now you're back on track again. And I think you've had some big thing happen, or some big feelings or something that have come that have said to you, it's time to get back on this again. It's time to start this again. And you're feeling quite different. And I think spiritually, you might have really been feeling this. And I think a lot of the old beliefs that you used to have, you're already starting to get rid of them. But I think there were some other big ones that now you really were getting rid of. You're questioning a lot of things. Again, I keep on saying you already started this a while ago and you got off track. Now you're back on track again and you're really kind of questioning even more things. I think socially you're questioning as well what you're obliged to do and what you're not. I think you used to answer people even if they're rude to you, or they'd say things and you'd say, oh, I better answer them, I better not do it. Now you're just like, no, I really don't care anymore. If you're rude to me, or if you're just like this, or you're asking me a crazy question, I don't have to answer you if you don't want to. I'm not saying you've turned into a rude person, but you're just not as obliged to answer to rude people. That's what I'm seeing. It's like, well, if they're going to be like that to me, I don't have to be nice to them. So there's not that you're horrible. I keep on saying it's not that you're a horrible person, but you're kind of just a lot more kind of relaxed in yourself, comfortable in yourself, or you're starting to be more like that. And you're not as kind of anxious about what people think about you. That's what I'm trying to say there. I'm probably not articulating this very well, but I'm trying my best. This is huge, actually, because, the less time you spend worrying about what other people think of you and what they're saying about you and what they're not saying and all that, the more time you have to concentrate on yourself and this new mindset and these changes. And you are becoming this new person. You're turning into this new person. Yeah, you're the same person, but your beliefs and your ideas and ideals and all of that kind of thing are changing now very quickly again. So you've had this stop and now it's starting up really quickly again. It's really, really positive. I think at the moment you might be keeping a lot of these changes to yourself, but I think in time you're going to be a lot more bolder about this. You're getting a lot bolder now, but I think in the future you'll be even more bolder. You're already on this track. So yeah, this is about you coming out of your box. Look at these people coming out of their boxes. I think you still have a lot to go through emotionally. There's a lot of water on this card, but you're on the right road, definitely. I think you've been through a lot of hard times, emotionally hard times. But I think out of that, it's brought you this new sense of self-awareness. Maybe you had to go through that. It might have been part of your process. And going off track might have been part of the process as well, to kind of make you appreciate this process, this ascension process. Excuse me, my voice is going a bit funny. So I nearly coughed then. Okay, so yeah, I'm just looking at this snowy mountain in the background. And when it's springtime and the snow melts, it waters the ground, and then we have, grass and plants. We have beautiful new flowers growing, wild flowers. And that's what you're becoming. You're becoming this beautiful wildflower. You're not conforming to what everyone's doing. You're wild. You're a beautiful wildflower. I hope that doesn't sound too cringy. But yeah, you're becoming a flower. You might just be a bud right now. But you're starting to grow, and you are continuing to grow. Yeah, if this is resonating, keep on questioning everything. That's how you're coming into your true self and into your own kind of unique understanding of things. Keep on going down this path. Yeah, I hope this is making sense and it doesn't sound too crazy. Okay, so the next card you have for your past, the Ten of Cups. Okay, so yeah, I think you've been keeping away from love for a while. I think you've been burned in love. I think you've been hurt. And you've just been trying to focus on other things, I think. But when I look at this card, obviously it's a beautiful, positive card, but it's very traditional. You know, it's like the husband and the wife and the 2 children and the house and the fence and the garden, all of that kind of thing. It's very, very, very traditional, conventional. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want, that's absolutely fine. No problem at all. But I think what this is telling me is this is about your past. So I think you were probably in a very traditional relationship at one time. Definitely as far as society sees it, it was kind of the societal norm, very traditional. And what I'm seeing is it just didn't work for you. It just didn't work. And, you know, you separated from this person or whatever. And I think when this didn't work, when this all came about, when this all ended, I think there were a lot of people who were quite disappointed. But they weren't living your life. They were just seeing the facade of this so-called perfection. It wasn't perfect at all. You know, you were living your life. You could see that it wasn't perfect. And I think part of the spiritual process that you're going through, it's about looking back over things and looking back over how you were feeling and what you were thinking at that time and how you do things differently this time, if you're in that position now. I actually think eventually, this is if you're single, obviously, I think your next big important relationship, I think it's going to be seen as the opposite of traditional and conventional. I think a lot of people are going to really open their eyes and raise a few eyebrows at you. But I think when this new person comes along, this non-traditional person, and you just go with the flow of this, because I think that's what you'll do, I actually think you're going to be the happiest you've ever been in your whole life when this person comes along. It's so beautiful. I love this so much. And they're not conventional. And your relationship's not going to be conventional. It's going to be very different. But it's going to be beautiful, I can tell you that. I'm not seeing this new person coming along for a while. They're not going to appear over the next few months, but probably after that. But they're going to appear at the right time. Don't stress about this and say, oh, I don't want to wait for this person. It's the right thing for you to wait. You know, you're not ready for them right now. You're still going through this process, but you're definitely getting stronger and you'll be ready. You'll be absolutely ready by the time they arrive. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Okay, so the last card you have your past is the Four of Swords. You know, this is really amazing seeing this here, because this can be about enlightenment as well. And, you know, it's coming after this Judgment card. So, you know, this man on this card, or this statue, obviously he's lying down, he's resting. Sometimes people see this as being that he's in a meditative state. And, you know, when he wakes up, he'll be able to see this beautiful stained glass window. And that can represent the enlightenment. So he's lying down, he's resting. When he opens his eyes, he's going to see this beautiful stained glass window. So that's what that can be about. At the moment, he can't sit up because he has these swords above his head. So I think you're still carrying a bit of hurt around. I'm seeing 2 different people actually who've treated you quite badly. One recently, one in your more distant past, for 2 different reasons. So I think you're still getting over that. I'm also seeing 2 people who love you and they protect you, and you protect them as well. That's what I'm seeing. It's absolutely beautiful. And they see you as golden, like this beautiful statue. And you are. You are golden. You just have to realize that yourself. You're valuable. And part of this process is about that. It's about realizing that. And it's about only allowing people near you who recognize that as well. And that's what you're going to do from now on. That's this you saying no in the Judgment card. It's about you saying, no, I'm not going to let these rude people who are horrible to me, not going to let these nasty talk and this kind of negativity around me again. No, I'm only going to have people around me who see me as golden, which is what I am, and it is what you are. It's so beautiful. I'm so happy to see this. And it's on the inside. You know, you're golden on the inside. And, you know, people are going to have to get to know you before they see that. And you're going to be putting up a few barriers up, and you're going to get to know them before you let them in. That's what I'm seeing. I heard this beautiful story about a statue, and it was in Thailand, and it was kind of all, you know, this dirty, dusty old statue made of old stone, and everyone thought it was nothing, and it was kind of stuck at the corner of the temple, and they put it down in the basement, and they put it out somewhere. And, you know, one day some people were moving it, and they dropped it, and it cracked. And when it cracked, it opened up, and there was gold, pure gold inside this statue. And that was the whole point of the statue, was that the gold was on the inside. And so that's what people are going to recognize about you. And you're going to put a barrier up so that they're going to have to get to know you and go through that until they do know you. And when they see you on the inside, they'll see that gold. And so that's all part of this process. Okay, so the first card you have your presence, the King of Pentacles. Right, so I'm seeing a lot of power here. That's what this King of Pentacles represents. It's not very nice though. It's a bit negative. I'm seeing a bit of dominance here. I'm seeing someone feeling as if they're the king, you know, in charge of things. Now, I don't think you're around this person who thinks they're the king. You're not around them physically. Maybe they're trying to control you in some way. There's a lot of control, dominance around this card. I think there might be someone who's trying to control what you're doing, maybe from far away, if that makes sense. It might be subtle. I'm seeing someone putting forward what seems like, you know, reasonable requests and reasonable questions to you. But I think these questions might be a cover for trying to get to you or find out more or be manipulative in some way. I know that sounds horrible, and I'm always being accused of making people feel paranoid. I don't mean to do that. I really don't. I don't. But yeah, the feeling I'm getting here is that maybe this person might have had a lot of control over you at one time, I think. I don't know whether this is this ex I'm seeing in the Ten of Cups. It's someone that had a lot of control over you. You broke free of that, and maybe that's what they don't like. They don't like seeing you breaking free. That's what I'm seeing. They don't like seeing that. You know, you have already. They can't do anything about that, but they don't like it. I'm also seeing money here. This is the King of Pentacles, obviously. So I think this person had a lot of power at one time, money-wise. They don't have as much of that now, and I'm actually seeing you starting to grow financially. So it's like they're kind of descending money-wise and power-wise, and you're ascending financially and all of that. I don't think you've told them this. I don't think you've said to them, oh, I've got lots of money, or I don't think you've got loads of money, but you're growing financially. I don't think you've said to them, oh, I'm making more money, or you haven't said anything to them. But I think they're sensing this. They're feeling this confidence around you, this aura of confidence. So that's what I'm getting. It's like they're feeling this energy coming from you. And yeah, I don't think you can totally avoid them for some reason. But definitely don't let them bait you into a conversation. I don't think you're doing that as much as you used to. That's what I'm seeing in the Judgment card. You don't feel obliged to answer to people anymore. So just answer what you have to. Don't go into any detail. Especially don't tell them anything about your personal life or anything like that, because I'm getting the feeling they might run with that information. They might tell other people. They might even use it against you in some way. So, you know, just be very careful around them. Okay, so the next card you have for your present is the Lovers. Okay, so yeah, this is what I'm seeing here. I think this might be why this person in the King of Pentacles is coming up in this reading. There's a lot of envy here and a bit of possessiveness as well. Now, what I'm seeing is there is a new person coming up in your life. I'm seeing that again here. Now, again, it's not traditional. There's something really different about this, but it's passionate. You know, it looks fantastic. But yeah, there's a bit of a warning here. You know, when this new person comes into your life, or if anyone else does in the meantime, or any other time, or whatever, you're going to have to try to keep this from this other person, this person in the King of Pentacles, this controlling person, or at least tone it down as much as you can. I know it sounds as if I'm telling you to be dishonest and to hide things from people. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to keep you safe. Not safe physically, you're not in danger in that way, but yeah, you're not even with them anymore. That's what I'm seeing. You're not even around them. But I keep on getting this feeling that they want to have some kind of say in your life. But, you know, when it comes to your relationships, you know, and your new relationships, they're not happy seeing that. So if you started a new relationship tomorrow, or if you're in one now, they'd be really unhappy and they'd start to cause, you know, all these little kind of problems for you. So just be careful. You know, there's a warning here again. I'm not seeing anyone here trying to hurt you physically, but they'll probably try to, you know, come at you verbally, mentally. They play head games, I think. So just watch out for that. Okay, so the last card you have your presence, the King of Cups. Yeah, be a bit like this King of Cups around this ex, or whoever this is, this controlling person, whoever they are. You know, this king doesn't show his emotions. He keeps things on the inside. He doesn't say much. And, you know, he's facing one way and he's looking the other way. So we never quite know kind of what he's thinking or feeling. And, you know, normally I'd never advise anyone to be like this. I really hate people who are like this myself, especially in a normal situation. But I don't think this is a normal situation. You're dealing with someone who's really difficult, and you have to take care of yourself. So this is a way of kind of protecting yourself. The other thing I'm seeing is, okay, I don't mean to make this negative, but I'm seeing a few different warnings in this card, so I have to tell you what I'm seeing. Just be careful around the workplace or your business or wherever you work. I'm just seeing someone who might look as if they're helping you. They might even tell you they want to help you, but just be a bit careful. I don't want you looking over your shoulder at every single person, but you have really, really good instincts. And, you know, if you get that feeling around someone, you know the feeling that if you're not quite sure about them, that kind of not so good feeling, then you know that's the person I'm talking about. They might ask you a lot of questions as well, and you might not feel like answering them. That might give you a clue as well. So if you do get that feeling, obviously keep your distance from that person. I think this offer of help might come in a message or an email, so watch out for that as well. And sorry about that noise. And if you say no to this person, I think you're going to have to be quite firm about that as well, about saying no, because I think they might try to come back and ask you again, maybe even a few times. So whatever you do, stay strong, stay independent, stay on this path that you're on, you know, because the further along you get on this process, on this path, the stronger you'll be. You got off a few times, but try and stay on this. That's what I'm seeing there. So the first card you have for your futures, the Seven of Swords. Yes. So here we are. Here's this person in your workplace. So whatever you do, if you get this feeling around someone in your workplace, whoever it is, keep away as much as you possibly can. I think they like to cause problems. I'm getting that feeling around them. And yeah, this is why you're getting that feeling around them, if that resonates. Yeah, I'm actually seeing a lot of talking behind people's backs. If you look at this card, this man's obviously stealing these swords, but he's doing it outside these tents when he knows people are probably going to be asleep. So yeah, this is about someone who does things and says things behind people's backs when they're not realizing it. So don't let yourself be one of these people. And, you know, you don't need this help anyway. You're strong, you're capable, you can do anything by yourself. If anyone says, oh, I'll help you with this work thing, you don't need it. You absolutely don't need it. So I'm just seeing that there as well. Okay, so the next card you have for your futures, the Two of Swords. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be taken in by this person, actually. You know, this woman's blindfolded. She's forming a cross in front of her with these swords. She's saying, no, X, no, I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to listen to you. So yeah, I hope this is what you're going to do around this person. I think you are. I'm also seeing you with this blindfold on for good reason, actually. You're still going to be going through this big change, this spiritual process, and you're going to be experiencing a lot of different positive and negative feelings as well as you go through this. It's not going to be all wonderful. There are going to be ups and downs, ups and downs. You know, quite often when people go through this kind of experience that leads to an awakening, it can be really emotional for them. You know, some old memories can pop up and you're going to have to deal with all of that. But, you know, with this new mindset, it's a little bit like processing all of that again, but it's a bit like a reprocessing. So you're processing things, but with your new mind, with your new with new kind of way of seeing things. So if these negative memories and these kind of not so good thoughts come up, don't think, oh, I'm on the wrong path, I'm not happy, I don't like this, get me off, get me off. Keep on going on this path. You know, you'll get through this. And, you know, once you get to the other side of this, it's going to be amazing. It really is. Just trust me, it is. You're going to have so much more clarity after that. But, you know, back to this blindfold, I think you're going to have to be really careful with who you talk to about this process, who you let in, who you don't let in. Because I think there are going to be people who ask you, you know, why you're changing, why you have different opinions or whatever. And, you know, you're just going to have to be just discerning about who you share this with and who you don't. Because some people are going to understand, but a lot won't. The vast majority won't. And, you know, they might try to talk you out of this or to be negative or whatever. And when you're going through this, you're already going through enough ups and downs. You don't need that kind of negativity putting you off the track again or sending you off again. You don't need that. So be very careful. Be very careful of who you talk to. Be very careful of who you bring around you. So the last card you have your future is the Nine of Wands. Yeah, this is really telling me a similar thing in this card. Again, you're going to be moving forward. It's a fantastic process. It's a beautiful process. But be a bit cautious like this man. You know, keep on moving ahead, but just be careful of who you speak to and who's in your path and who's in your way and what's there. Yeah, I really hope this is resonating. I hope this is happening to you. You know, it's a fantastic process to be going through, and it can be difficult, I know that, and I think you've started on this a while ago. I keep on seeing this, but you got off. You might have even gotten off track a few times, but you're back on again. Stay on if you can. Stay on. So, Scorpio, I really do hope this resonated, but as you know, general readings can't always resonate. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to, and thank you so much for watching.